The husband went on a business trip, and at night she accidentally saw him walking with a neighbor's dog. The New Year's party ended quickly, and with it the holidays. I had to get back to work again. In fact, I felt sad because now I would spend very little time with my wife Anna. I would only see her for a few minutes when I woke up, and a few hours when I returned from work and the weekends. But that's life, and I can't do anything about it. I have to work. You see, I'm a manager of a candy factory, but the work itself is very heavy. I graduated in business and finance, however, as far as I could get. But I feel very lucky because not everyone has a job. The days passed, and the truth was I wanted to have a few more days of vacation, and I think I was not the only one. There were other employees who looked very tired, some yawning and some almost asleep. I think everyone would like to extend their free time by at least a week or two. After some time, the boss called me and said, "Come in, I want to talk to you." The truth is that he seemed very serious. At the time, I thought that maybe more work would come or something bad was going on. He ushered me into his office and made me sit in the chair. The conversation got tense. For some reason, the look of the boss was not a good omen, and suddenly he said some words that I did not expect. In short, he told me that business was down. There were few orders, and therefore he wanted to give me a few days off, that he would take care of my work. But don't worry, he was going to pay me anyway, just a little less. But he was going to do it. I had my worried face at that moment, as if pretending that I wanted to continue here. But come on, inside I was happy. Within a week or two, I was satisfied. There were so many plans on my mind. Finally, I told my boss that there was some urgency that he did not hesitate to call me. "Of course I'll call you," he said. So I left his office and called yet another employee. You see, my wife had also returned to work, but she only attends 4 days a week and I attend 6. So now I could spend more time with her. I was delighted with this news. It was as if the universe had heard my plea for a vacation. I wanted so badly to have more days like this, that here I am in the street walking very happy. Finally, more free time. However, I did not know that this would be the beginning of something that would mark my life forever. Finally, I got to the house. Obviously, I had arrived before Hannah did, since she was working as a seamstress, and I knew there were about 2 hours to see her, so I thought it would be a good idea to wait for her with a nice dinner. I knew she was going to love this surprise, and what will happen after it was going to depend on her. Time passed, and suddenly I heard the door open. She had arrived very tired, very disheveled. She looked like she didn't have a good day. I thought that at the moment that she would have been great, that she too would have a vacation like me. But hey, that's life. I went to give her a hug and a kiss, and she said to me, "But what are you doing here? Did you leave work early?" She asked me. I joke a bit then. "What do you think?" "Well, I got fired from my job. Not bad, right?" I told her. She stared at me for a few seconds and said nothing. Sure, she realized that I was joking, so I didn't say anything either. Suddenly she commented, "It smells so good. Did you cook or something?" And I replied, "Well, I did something. I hope you like it." So we went to the kitchen for dinner. She finished, she was very tired, and she went to shower and then went to bed to sleep. I understood it. The next day, early, she said that she would go out to visit her mother. I told her that I would like to go out for a walk with her, to take advantage of the day. But she replied that she had been with her mother for several days. But I didn't tell her anything. Maybe in the afternoon there was a space for us to go out. So during the day I fell asleep. I made something to eat for both of us and waited for her, but she didn't come. It was almost dusk, so I began to eat alone. I finished, washed the dishes, and finally heard the door open. It was already almost 8 at night. Then she came in. She said that she would not eat anything, that she'd already had lunch and she was not hungry. But she suddenly started screaming. She said that I made the whole kitchen dirty for her, that she had badly washed dishes and cutlery. She was very angry. This was not the weekend I wanted to have next to her, I thought. She then went to bed, and there she kept her phone. Maybe she didn't have a good day, so I went outside a bit and met some friends. But in the meantime, I was wondering why she was having this reaction to me. Of course, at that time, I did not remember that I once joked that I'd been fired. Maybe she really believed it. The next day, it was Monday. I decided to stay at home, as the national team was going to play. I couldn't miss it. My wife was not working that day, so she was already on the couch with her phone. But she suddenly asked me, "What? Are you not looking for a job? Are you going to sit there all day watching TV? To work?" I told her, "Yes, work. Do you want me to support you?" Anna said. At that moment, I approached her, hugged her, and gave her a kiss. And I tried to calm her down. "Come on, honey, don't be mad at me. Did you think I was fired? Don't worry, I'll be back very soon. What I said, was a joke. They only gave me a few days off. My boss will call me. Don't worry." She didn't say anything. She was just silent. After a few days, came to visit a friend and told me that he had heard that I was free. He offered me a carpentry job for a few days. I'm not an experienced carpenter, but making furniture or things that I have to do with wood, I'm very passionate about them, and also, an extra money would not hurt me. and it just so happens that he would just work on the same days that my wife was busy, so I accepted my friend's proposal. Already on the fourth day as a carpenter, I received a call from my boss. The next week, I should start working. He even told me that he would give me a better position. That was a pleasant surprise because he would earn me more. There were only 2 days to go, so I had to make the most of my day with Anna, I thought. On that day, I left the workshop. My friend gave me a very good payment. I didn't expect it. The truth is that for some reason I felt happy. Soon, I'll have a good position, I have a wife, I have good health. What more can I ask for? Before going home, I bought Anna a bouquet of flowers. I bought a box of chocolates and good wine. I even bought some candles. Today, there will be a romantic dinner. It has to be an unforgettable evening, I thought. The truth is that I wanted to change the atmosphere in the home. It had been a long time since there was something between her and me. I had a big smile as I walked home. But when I opened the door, I noticed that Anna was not there. It was something very unexpected, since she should be there. I went in and asked, "Anna, are you here? Anna?" I walked into our room, but she wasn't there either. I put the bouquet of flowers on the bed and the bag with all the things that I bought. I also noticed that her laptop was missing, and neither was her favorite bedroom rug. My smile was erased in an instant. Suddenly, a terrifying thought came over my mind. I walked over to her closet, opened it, and there was nothing. There were no clothes of hers and no shoes of hers. It was empty. But had she gone on a business trip? Why didn't she tell me any of this? But who would take the carpet? Suddenly, I realized that there were no more things like some household utensils, some pictures. I started to get even more nervous. I put my hands to my head. I didn't understand what was happening. I dialed her cell phone, but only the operator, who said that her phone was off, answered. So I decided to call my mother-in-law. I dialed her. I heard the phone ring, but she rejected the call. This was very strange to me. Why would she do this? I asked myself. I didn't think about it. I went to my mother-in-law's apartment. If she didn't want to talk on the phone, then she would talk to me face to face. Also, is it possible that Anna is with her? Having come to the place where my wife once lived, I called my mother-in-law on the building intercom, but she didn't answer. Had she gone out? I soon noticed a man come out of the building. I took advantage of the moment to hold the door open and went inside. I went up to the desired floor. I arrived at the door of my mother-in-law's apartment. I touched, and there she appeared, looking at me with an expression of disgust. I said, "Good afternoon, Mrs. Olga. Where's Anna?" "Anna? I don't know," she replied. She wanted to close the door. Wait, please, ma'am. Anna has left home, and I want to know what's going on. She took her belongings, and I don't know where she went. This worries me a lot. Please, ma'am, if you know anything about her, tell me. It was clear that from my mother-in-law's face, she knew what was going on. But why would a wife be so offended? Why do I make her leave my home? My mother-in-law got very nervous and just said, "I don't know why she left you. Maybe because you wanted her to support you." My mother-in-law closed the door right in front of my nose without giving me an explanation. I stood there thinking about her words. I left the building and sat on the bench in front of it. There were many questions in my head, but no answers. Then I remembered the last words of my mother-in-law. Did you want her to support you? Did Anna take my dismissal seriously? But I told her that I was going to work soon. Maybe she didn't listen. In any case, it was important to see her and clarify all this in a conversation. Without realizing that it had gotten dark, it had been many hours since I was sitting on this bench. I think it was time to go home and wait for her to give me a chance to speak. Perhaps all is not lost. Everything has a solution. Before I separate to walk, suddenly I heard a familiar laugh in the distance, and when I looked up, I saw Anna, who was walking beside her ex, hugging her. And then, when they reached the door of the building, he kissed her on the lips. Fury boiled my blood in my veins. I jumped to my feet and wanted to hit that cheeky. So I went up to him and demanded that he get away from Anna right away. But she said to me, "What are you doing here? Don't you see that we have finished? I haven't realized that I have left the house to never see you again. You stay away or I'll call the police." Her words broke my heart into 1,000 pieces, and I just looked at her ex behind her with a smile. "Anna, do what I have been," I told her. "Why are you doing this? I don't understand." She went on her way with him as I watched, and Anna turned her back on me and went with a man who was not me. She couldn't bear it. I was about to cry, and suddenly I yelled at her. "So why were you with me all that time? Why did you wait until now? Why did you tell me that we would be forever?" And the man next to her said, "Why did you let her keep you? Do you think she might be a carpenter? Think about what you did. Talk no more." I couldn't believe all of this. I cried and just walked home. She asked me why she thought of me that way, as if I had lived off her money. I was the one who paid for the entire house with my own savings. Most of all of her clothes were bought by me because they were all gifts. At no point did I let her pay anything for me. Perhaps the real problem was that she'd stopped loving me, and she was only with me for my salary. My heart was shattered and full of bitterness because I had fake relationship all that time. My wife no longer loved me, and who knows since when. At home, there would be liquor that I had bought. I threw the candles in the trash and I sat for the rest of the night, and various thoughts came to me. A few days later, I went back to work, and that could help me distract myself and not think too much about what happened. The truth is that it helped me a lot to be able to work again. Several months have passed since then. One day when I came home, I wanted to go to the supermarket, and suddenly I saw my ex-wife a few meters from me. She was alone. She realized that I was there. She looked at me and gave a fake smile. Suddenly, she approached me. "Why are you wearing a jacket and tie?" she asked me, "and that ID card hanging around your neck? Didn't the factory take it from you when you were fired?" "What?" I told her. "Anna, they never fired me. I had only joked with you. Even now, I have a bigger position in the company as a businessman. It's more in line with my specialty. What's more, they paid me for the 2 weeks that I did not work. But hey, that doesn't matter anymore, does it?" I entered the establishment and managed to see her face out of the corner of her eye with the surprise and her sadness. I was glad such an absurd joke saved me from a life with fake love. In truth, I hope that one day I find a woman who truly cares about me and not the money I can earn.